Hey, welcome back to training. Let's quickly cover the 4 weapon rules before we start. First weapon safety rule, treat every weapon as if it is loaded, even when you know it's not. The second weapon safety rule is never point your weapon at anything you aren't willing to destroy. The third weapon safety rule, keep that finger straight and off the trigger till you're up on target and ready to fire. And the fourth rule is know your target and what lies beyond. All right, now let's clear out our pistol to ensure we aren't training with a loaded gun. First, put your weapon on safe if you have a manual safety. Then remove the magazine, lock your slide to the rear, and conduct a 3-point check of your chamber, magazine well, and slide face. Make sure all 3 areas are clear of any bullets. Send your slide home, and now we know our pistol is completely clear. If for any reason you're not able to ensure your pistol is totally cleared out, do not continue training with this video. Today's lesson has 3 segments. We're going to review point shooting first, and then we're going to practice turning and shooting at a target. And then finally, we're going to finish by learning about follow-up sight picture. Let's get to work. All right, let's go ahead, jump right into point shooting. So remember our stance, grip, not practicing sight alignment when we're point shooting, but we are going to pull the trigger this time when we point shoot. So punch out, take your shot, and then confirm your sights. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. And you know, a little high left there. Let me try that again. That was better. All right, you know what you need. So if you want to pick up your pistol and then point shoot, you can do that. If you want to just focus on the point shooting, you can do that. Okay, now that we're in video 7, you're starting to understand the fundamentals and really what you need as a shooter, and everybody's going to be different. So please, if you feel like, I'm doing something in a video and I'm not putting my pistol down, you're like, oh, I want a little bit more work with picking up my pistol and doing that. Feel free to start changing things up and, doing what you need as a shooter, because nobody knows you better than you. So focus on what you need to do to improve and do that. Oh, smoked him. That was a really good shot. Okay. Ooh, I'm on today. Let's go. All right. Remember to stay relaxed. Hopefully this is starting to feel a little bit more comfortable. And again, if you're still not there, if you're not comfortable with this at all, then keep it slow. You can, just because we're in video 7 doesn't mean you should be an expert shooter right now, right? If you started this as a total beginner, this is like a grand total of what, maybe an hour and a half of training. Great shot. But an hour and a half is not going to make you an expert at absolutely anything. So remember that this takes time. And don't get frustrated just because you're not getting it right away. That's why you have to keep practicing. And you can always just, once you finish this whole series, just start all over again. Once you're done with this program, make sure that you don't just do it and forget about it. It's nice to know the fundamentals, but the whole reason that you got a pistol is to defend yourself and the people that you love. So take 15 minutes a month, just 15 minutes. And in that way, if anything ever happens, it would have been at most 30 days since you touched your pistol, reapplied those fundamentals, instilled that muscle memory. I don't know about you, but I am on fire right now. Okay, let's go. I don't want to jinx it, but I've had 6 or 7 really, really good shots. Having a good day. All right. And again, don't get frustrated, right? If you're not having a good day, that's totally fine. Best shooters in the world have bad days. Best baseball players in the world have bad games, right? So you're going to have good days. That one wasn't that great, and my stance was totally wrong, right? So there you go. Fundamentals just broke down a little bit. Totally fine. Acknowledge that, and then move forward. Back on it. All right, let's do this a couple more times. If you haven't tried this yet, maybe speed up a tiny little bit. Or if you're ready, speed up a lot. Pick your target. Get ready. A little to the right. Try that same target one more time. Ooh, that was nice. All right, now that we've reviewed point shooting, let's practice turning and shooting with our pistol. All right, let's go ahead and pick up our pistols, and we're going to practice turning, aiming in, getting that smooth, steady trigger pull. Focus on our sights not moving at all, okay? So, we're just going to swing our leg around. Right, you're not just turning on the balls of your feet. That'd be weird, and then your feet would be all messed up, and you'd be wobbly. All right, step, aim, smooth, steady trigger pull, equal height, center mass, okay? So get equal height, center mass before you pull the trigger. All right. So turn, equal height, center mass, smooth, steady trigger pull. Remember to stay relaxed. Take your time. Haven't really practiced this before. We just kind of, we turn a little bit. We haven't really focused on turning to our target. Boom, get up, smooth, steady trigger pull. And you don't have to just go to the same target. Maybe you can, because what I want you to focus on is think about why we're trying to do this, right? Something might be happening. You have to go grab your gun, and then you have to turn all the way around and then eliminate a threat, right? So we're trying to slowly practice being able to turn quickly, get our natural point of aim, get our sights on target, and then taking that shot. So you can turn left, you can turn right, you can turn a little bit more than 90 degrees, right? Whatever you're comfortable with, or if you just want to do a slight little turn, that's up to you. But just slowly push yourself more and more so that you get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Remember, good grip, high firm grip, high middle finger straighten off the trigger, thumb out of the way, high index finger on the trigger guard, maximum contact high and forward, vice grip down with that support hand, chest out, equal height, center mass, and smooth, steady trigger pull. And you should always be looking first, right? Because you don't want to be just like turning around and pointing your gun where you haven't looked, right? So you should be turning, looking, then pulling the trigger. Once we get to multiple target engagements in videos 10 and 11, it's the same type of concept. You always look first, your head leads your eyes because your gun wants to go where you're looking, right? Just like that example I gave with you driving on the highway and you look over your right shoulder, right? And the car just kind of goes that way. So look with your head, stare exactly at your target, right? Not generally speaking, like pinpoint. Pinpoint exactly where you want that bullet to go, and your gun is going to want to go there. It may not go exactly there, but it'll make shooting accurately a lot easier. Now, if you haven't done this yet, go the other way. That was a bad rep. Everybody's going to have bad reps. That was much better. Be humble, right? You're not going to be a great shooter and never make mistakes. And making mistakes is how you grow, right? That's how you learn. If you never make mistakes, you're not pushing yourself. And once you take that shot, make sure you're not turtlenecking. Make sure as you turn, you still have your front foot towards your target, rear leg slightly back, cocked out, right? You just want to kind of be in that fighting stance. Make sure your feet aren't spread out a lot. Make sure they're not too close together. Let's do this 2 more times. It's not a good rep either. Let's practice that same target. Much better. All right, now that we've reviewed turning and shooting, let's move on and practice follow-up sight picture. All right, so follow-up sight picture is pretty easy to understand and explain. It's also pretty easy to implement. However, it's pretty hard to do in a dry fire situation, so we're not going to spend tons of time on it. However, I do want you to understand this concept because it's very important once you get to live fire shooting. So when you sight in, a lot of beginner shooters have a tendency to pull the trigger and then either instantly bring the pistol back, or it's called turkey peeking, try to like look at the target and see where their shots go. And what you want to do is you want to have follow-up sight picture. So good sight alignment, you're getting, it's called sight picture. And so you're making sure you have equal height, equal light, center mass. That's your sight picture. And so you get it before you shoot, but every shot gets 2 sight pictures. So if you take 1 shot, you have a sight picture before and after. If you take 2 shots, you have 3 sight pictures because you take 1 before, 1 after the first shot, and then that second sight picture after your first shot is also your sight picture before your second shot. And then after your second shot, you have your third sight picture. So you want to make sure you have good sight picture before and after, because you always want to make sure you come directly back down on your target so you can take follow-up shots. If you turkey peek, right, or if you get into the habit of turkey peeking or instantly coming off your target after you take a shot, that doesn't instill good muscle memory for good follow-up shots, and you want to be able to do that for defensive shooting situations. So what we're going to practice right now is really just mentally thinking about, okay, get up on target, take that picture, or take that shot, and then think about what our sights are doing afterwards. So let's just go ahead and do this. And again, this is kind of a hard concept to understand when your gun isn't recoiling, but you can either just practice, and if your sights are moving a tiny little bit, like watch them come down and then come back up, right? Because if you jerk the trigger a little bit, they'll jerk and then you'll bring it back on target. So you can kind of look at sight picture that way, or you can pull the trigger and then kind of simulate your recoil and then bring it back down center. Whichever way you want to do it. So simulating recoil, just pull the trigger and then try to think about coming directly back down. You don't want to like overcompensate and come down and then come back up. You just want to come up, down, straight to your target. Remember, stay loose in the shoulders. Feel yourself getting tense. Remember to relax. We're relaxing. I would do this for a couple more minutes. Remember that good grip. Strong support hand. And hopefully these fundamentals, the more I repeat them, the more you're like, yep, I got it, it's locked. That muscle memory is hopefully starting to form. And again, you want to make sure you have good follow-up sight picture, because in a real-world situation, if you take 1 shot and then you go, did I eliminate the threat? Then you're not going to be able to have the ability to take follow-up shots if the answer is no, okay? So you want to stay on target, know exactly what's happening through your sights, know what's happening with your target, and if you need to take follow-up shots, then you can do that. All right. So once you go to the range, make sure follow-up sight picture is the one thing. It's hard to, again, train when you're dry firing, but it's a very important concept to understand once you get to the range. All right, let's do this one more time. All right, that is follow-up sight picture. So make sure that every single shot, it's hard to do this with dry fire, but every single shot always gets 2 sight pictures, 1 before and 1 after. And if you take 3 or 2 shots, then you have 3 sight pictures. If you take 3 shots, you have 4 sight pictures, because 1 before, 1 after the shot, and the 1 after the shot counts as the sight picture before the next shot. So until next time, stay safe, live free, and I'll see you soon.